How does it feel being in your new home?
My new home. I'm so excited. Yeah, my dorm is all packed up. Like everything is. Yeah, I have my outfits that I need like for this week. And other than that, it's pretty. Yeah.
All right, we're rolling, man.
Sweet.
This is Wim Tapley. You guys know him for sure.
How's it going?
Everyone that listens to this knows Wim for sure. One of my good buds in town. Love hanging out with him. Always a good time.
Yeah, man.
You know, he's a fantastic musician, which is the reason I hang out with him. You know.
Yeah, just using me.
Like to be inspired.
No,
always.
I appreciate you, man.
Always like to be inspired about different artists around town and stuff. And it's nice to have you in here, brother.
Thanks, man. I can't wait to move into your room. I kind of wish you were still in there while I moved in, but
yeah,
it's,
you want to sleep in my bed?
I'm gonna like
with me in there,
pick your energy from the walls and the ceilings and things, and be writing some Drew Young Thomas kind of songs.
There you go.
Yeah,
you might pick up some Americana country stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the goal. Some outlaw, some Birmingham,
some outlaw Birmingham.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of weird. Like Birmingham is doing some outlaw stuff right now.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I heard that's a really great gig town because it's what, like 3 colleges in Birmingham or something.
UAB, Birmingham Southern, and there's a couple of colleges there, I guess, but those are the big ones.
Yeah, just a lot of different markets.
Yeah,
it's interesting. Yeah, I know Alan's from there too. Good dude.
Alan.
Everybody I know from Birmingham is awesome because I know like 2 of y'all, but y'all are running it.
I always forget Alan's from Birmingham.
Yeah,
like, and then I'm like, "Where are you from again?" And he's pissed every time I say it.
He goes like,
yeah,
I love that guy.
He's like, "How could you not remember where I'm from?" His playing was great on at Southern Brewing
Sunday. Yeah. I'm wearing my Southern shirt right now under this. Yeah, shout out Southern.
Are those stickers on your sweatshirt?
Yeah, I played at Boars last night and
last night?
Yeah, there were a bunch of Phi Mews there, so they started like sticking me.
You played at Boars last night after Hendershots, or?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Last night was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was an open mic. Yeah, just hopped up. But yeah, I like these. This one's like a bid day from 2019.
Yeah.
Shout out Phi Mew though.
So how was Boars last night?
It was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, good time.
Avery played. I saw Nikki was there.
Nikki's
saw Robert
awesome,
was
man.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was great. We ended up leaving like probably 30 minutes before close, and then went back to Garrett Chermont's house, and it was just like him, Nikki, my girlfriend, and me.
Cool.
And it was a really good vibe.
Yeah.
So
your girlfriend and you.
Yeah, you know Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
It's like
I don't know why I'm acting like
yeah. Saying her name is like private.
Yeah. Yeah. Madeline Cawthron.
Great gal.
Really
Love
cool.
You, fam.
Yeah,
Love
she's
you.
awesome.
Cool, man. Yeah, I'm excited to have you in here just to I feel like a combination of BS and asking you a couple questions about some of my favorite songs that you've wrote.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. I love BS.
Yeah, but like I'm curious kind of what you think about. I mean, this is going to be a bit of a loaded question, but I mean, like the Athens music scene and you being accepted into it and everything, it feels pretty solid. From my perspective, like seeing you come in, I mean, the girls love you.
Thanks, man. No, it's been just super affirming. It was like, maybe I stepped into Athens and I started performing at a higher level, but it makes me feel like I really might have had all the pieces together in Virginia, and it was just a locational thing because there was no reception to it. I mean, there was a little bit, but there's no scene. It was mostly just like what I could get from like the general population of Arlington or whatever.
Okay.
And now it's like the biggest demographic that I have in Athens is other people involved in the music scene, which is a beautiful thing because, there's always some like extra pressure playing for other musicians because you're always thinking like they know what you're doing.
Yeah.
So to have the music community accept me with open arms is just super cool. I'm self-taught, like can't read music, so it's very just very affirming that I know I can still contribute in my own way.
When you were in you started playing when you were at what age? Like performing live for people?
Yeah, I started piano lessons when I was like 5. I was doing like little recitals and things, like kind of I would say like 3rd grade ish. I was starting to play for people.
3rd grade?
Not like bar
But
gigs.
like, yeah,
Yeah,
bar
but I
gigs. When
was
were you
like
playing bar gigs?
singing for people. I started playing bar gig. I guess 8th grade. And I
Grade,
started
you were
making
playing bar
money.
gigs?
Yeah, like every once in a while. And then I started like getting regular stuff. Really freshman year, like end of freshman year of high school.
So when did you like want to move to Athens? Like, was there a thing that sparked your interest with just like, was it just leaving town, or was it like, I want to go to this place specifically?
Yeah, a big part of it was leaving town.
Okay.
I knew that I wanted to end up in a music scene.
Yeah.
And it was kind of the serendipitous thing where I ended up getting rejected from like every school I applied to, other than Georgia. It's Georgia and Berkeley School of Music and Virginia Tech, but I was never gonna go there. It's awesome. Blacksburg is super fun, but it's just not for me.
You got into Berkeley too? And
Yeah.
you're just like, eh.
It's I was thinking of it as either music school or DIY music school. I was like, it's going to be way more expensive to go to Berkeley, and I really think I might be able to do a lot of this myself.
Berkeley's
So-
in Oakland, right? California?
No, it's in that's
it's in
UC Berkeley. It's
Massachusetts.
at Boston. Yeah,
Yeah,
Berkeley
yeah,
School of
yeah,
Music.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
right.
and Boston's awesome. I went there over the summer with a bunch of Berkeley kids. Super cool environment. Like everyone was hanging around a table passing a laptop around and just kind of adding stuff to a beat, and it was just the most like
That's cool.
it was really interesting just there because
that's-
they're always
that's
making
super
shit
weird
like
and awesome.
all day.
When you moved to Athens, like the step up of, was there like a freedom that you offered yourself that made you a better musician? There was night and day difference between you being in Virginia in Arlington versus you being in Athens.
Yeah, I don't think I offered it to myself. I think it was more just the way that Athens has shaped me.
Okay.
And I answered that last question as if Athens was kind of this like last ditch option, but
Yeah.
it really started piquing my interest like before I got rejected from places, and I was like, there was a little part of me that was really hoping I would end up here, just because you have Athens and Atlanta, and it's like.
But like, was there like a gap between your skill level between, because this has happened to me, like a gap in my skill level of leaving like California and coming back to Birmingham. There was like a gap where I made this like level up jump kind of thing, that I put extra pressure on myself kind of thing. And like I was better, but like it was more conscious competence that I was like, oh shit, like I mess up all these parts. I need to work on all these parts kind of thing.
Absolutely.
Was there like a skill jump for you to moving here?
Yeah, I think the biggest part of that was just playing like 4 nights a week every week in Virginia before I got here. Like for like that whole summer, I was just grinding. So it was just like I got so comfortable playing live, and
So the whole summer, sorry to interrupt you, but
You're okay.
the whole summer before you got to Athens.
yeah, I was
you were
driving
just-
into the city like just banging out gigs, like anything I could ever
Is
get.
the city DC or?
Yeah, I was mostly playing in like Arlington and stuff, which is just a smaller city right next to DC.
How far out is it?
Like 10 minutes from DC, maybe 5 minutes. Like there's one exit that you take that's different, and Arlington is super cool because it's just it's like a young city. A lot of kids go there right after they graduate college and get pretty nice jobs, so it's a nice area. Really young people. They have a really cool venue called the Renegade there.
Shout out Renegade.
Yeah, they're good folks.
Cool.
Yeah, so Arlington's awesome, but yeah, I guess it was just I did a gap year right before
Oh, right before
freshman
college.
year. Yeah, and
Oh yeah.
I was pretty alienated because all my friends had gone to school, and so I was putting in a lot of work, learning how to produce. Like it was a beautiful time for its own reasons, but also I was just really, really stifled by trying to create in a vacuum, and I was putting all this pressure on myself to do it all myself. And then now I'm creating much more naturally, and I'm liking the stuff that I'm writing now a lot better. And it's hard to not be inspired in a college town. Like there's just so much like fucking just like debauchery. It's just so
countless.
funny. Like
It
just the
is.
funniest things can happen to you in Athens
on any night of the week.
But like not necessarily just debauchery. Like there's also some just beautiful,
just inspiration
experiences. Yeah, just like really human, emotional shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, just countless people that can like influence something that you're up to just by having a talk with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like when we were on the street walking home from Flickr and ran into Cannon Rogers, like out of nowhere, and he's like badass pedal steel guy, tour managing for Susto, like doing like he's the man. And so like anytime it's more about just like showing up and being available than anything. Like I was just talking to Jameson Tank this morning, and he was like,
I was talking to him too this morning.
Nice, yeah, he got me a gig in Clemson, so it's our first time getting to Clemson. And he was like, dude, it's all about like availability. Like that's awesome that you guys are, willing to show up. So it's really just like the
like
scene is here.
With your band or
just being down to like play whenever. Last week I played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. This week we're doing it again. Mm-hmm. And it's exhausting. I have like just like 2 weeks of school, not even 2 weeks of school left. Like a big paper due on Monday that I haven't started. Yeah. And it just keeps getting pushed off because those gigs keep coming. But
you're playing the pool party tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we're doing the Mark.
Do that.
And then we're doing Oxford, or not Oxford, Mississippi, but the little school. It's a little part of Emory.
Okay.
On Saturday night. So it's just like, I guess, and then I'm moving in here on Sunday.
Yeah. Dude, I was like thinking about leaving town like on Saturday or on Friday, like tomorrow. And
that's so sad, man.
But there's got to be like one last hoorah, And what better way to do it for like a pool party?
I say Friday is is that tomorrow night? Yeah.
Yeah.
Throw it down.
That should be fun.
Calico too, man, and DJ
Calico
Hank,
too.
Yeah, definitely pull up to the Mark. Yeah.
So I'm curious about, you have this band now that I was talking to Brian last night about you a little bit, and we were talking about how you've got this band now and how you're very focused on like what you want and stuff, and you give your band direction. And we were talking about, I was kind of curious, like the way you're getting along with your band, like if you are.
No, I hate them. They're such dicks.
Heck yeah.
Like wouldn't want any of them to talk to any of my fans. No, I fucking love the band, man. They're great, and I'm gonna miss the guys that actually. So originally I was like, oh man, they don't want to tour. I'm gonna have to replace them, and then now we're kind of in the situation where like Alex is quitting Redcoats. Craig is going to go to dental school in Augusta, but he's like totally down to go anywhere on the weekends and stuff. So we have this like hybrid band, where, it's like what we have with Garrett, where I have Lance is my, he was the first bassist we hired. Like he's my bassist, but then Garrett's an awesome bassist for Cam's band. And he hops in when Lance is doing, his school, cause he's going to graduate too.
Yeah.
So I'll have like just two of everybody. I got two drummers, two saxes, two trumpets. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Garrett is the fill-in for the whole town.
Yeah, but also, oh my God, yeah, he's like, and same with like Daniel, plays for everybody. Exactly, so, but he's my main guy. But we have Mario too. So,
But I'm curious about like your recording, like when you're recording and you're doing stuff with your band, like do you get along well enough to like get the recording done, or is there like how do you manage the process of getting exactly what you want focus wise? Into like, is there do you first bring in the song that you have acoustic and vocally, like a demo, and you're like, all right, I want to build around this. You do something like that, and then you're like, I want to add the drums here, like hits here and here, and then like bass on top of that kind of thing.
Yeah, so on the recordings I'm still playing everything other than the horns, and then they that direction's a give and take because they know more about horn parts than I do, just growing up and playing all the time.
So you're playing all the instruments besides the horns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything. Okay. And I'm producing stuff too. I'm like engineering some stuff with Jeff at 1093, or he's engineering for me at 1093. That rhymed. I like that. But yeah, they're sending me stems, and then I'm the one doctoring them up on the records and stuff. But when I'm pitching new originals to the band, It's a very natural thing. It always just happens at Nucci's. Like when we're rehearsing, I'll show up and just kind of play them the part on the electric guitar, tell Lance the chords, tell him the key. Horns will start doing their thing. They kind of just like put their heads together and get something going. Or if I have like a more direct melody that I want to throw at them, just like hit them up with it. And Dan, I just hit him with some like beatbox. I'm like, I want like a sketch, like, and I'll just kind of do. And he's so good at picking those up. Like we do that live. Like when we started playing together, before we had ever rehearsed together or anything, I'm always just kind of throwing. Like I was,
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a very cohesive process. And sometimes they'll like come up with their own parts and throw in. They're like, oh, what if we do this here? What if we do? But they're also really good at just following my lead, like trusting my ear, and then just bringing their own thing to the table when needed. So it's a very like.
Okay, when needed, like they bring their own thing to the table, like when needed. Like, is there in that part of when needed, is there a space between like your thought of what you want on the song, and then there's a space between that and the next thing that you actually want on the song, or is there like that space between there? Is that created like when you write the song itself, first time you write it? Is this over a period of time? Is it a combination of all the above?
It's a combination. Usually,
okay.
I'm pretty blessed because I like when I write a song on my acoustic guitar, for the most part, I hear the whole thing in my head. Like I know what it's going to sound like. But then, when you're producing, you always like, you can know what it's going to sound like, but then record everything, and you always need to fill in some more space, or sometimes like you're filling up too much space and you got to figure out what you need to get rid of.
How fast do those horns come? Like how fast do the instruments that you don't know, how fast do those come inside your mind when you're writing the song? Like beginning of writing the song?
I mean, I'll usually get the lyrics and the bones of the song done, and then when I start playing through it to like memorize the words and things, I hear it come together. So it all just comes together at the same. Like I don't necessarily like, oh, this is the bass part, and then this is the drums, and then I just like hear it, and I'm like, it's almost like hearing someone else's song and trying to pick out the instruments that are going on. Like, what is it doing for me?
Okay, cool.
And then Lance, he'll throw in his own interpretation. Garrett will throw in his interpretation. The horns will do some, like, they'll change the melody lines a little bit, do some other stuff, do some more stabs that I didn't think of. It's just a very, like, the more we play together, we rehearse a lot. Like, we're rehearsing all the time. So we just have so much trust in one another. And it's helpful also kind of keeping that separation between, my vision and then, like, hiring them out as musicians, because at the end of the day I can always like,
oh, this is an interesting topic too,
be a tyrant if I need to. I try not to be, but if I need to, like,
when you say hire them out, what do you mean? Like pay them to be in the studio with you to rehearse and stuff?
Yeah, I'm just thinking like I'm not in a traditional like band where I don't know how to word this, because it's like everyone within my band always has a say, and I'm open to their criticism and their interpretations of the music and everything.
Yeah.
But it's helpful for me because I have a very clear just like form of leadership. So it's
yeah, your vision's strong.
People are never like stepping on my toes if I'm like I can always put my foot down or something, and it's not an ego thing, and the guys get where it's coming from, and I try to make them feel supported by it. I'm never like, oh, you suck or whatever.
It's so weird because like one thing that I used to do when we were rehearsing for tour, I had Cam playing the drums and Garrett playing the bass, and Cam was listening to a lot of like Tom Misch, and like Yusef Days and stuff like that.
That's my favorite.
So like that's how he was playing the drums.
Yeah. And
then Garrett is like a boogie woogie sort of bassist, but like does a lot of runs and fills inside the stuff. So I didn't have any expanded awareness of encapsulating what I wanted on the drums or the bass in this period of time, because there was so much learning involved of, hey, this is a song, guys, let's do this together. You guys be creative in whatever way you want to do it. And they were super creative, and then we sort of composed these songs together in different sort of ways. Like there were stops, there were different fills. There was parts where I wasn't playing the guitar at all, just singing. There were like drum solo parts, there were bass solo parts and stuff like that. And I've talked to them later about it, and it was like the more creativity that I was like, they were just, you know, it was like that was like the money.
They'll
that
have
was
more
like
fun.
pay.
Yeah, they'll have more fun playing the parts, and the
And
really
Daniel
like
does that too. Daniel's a big.
We're
proponent
really
of that.
good at the stops and the
Yeah.
That's a big part of the show, and that's why I think we come across as such a tight band, is because we're hitting those, and we're just rehearsing them so much that And Dan, yeah, he's awesome. I would say I give Dan the most hell out of anyone in the band, because I'm always like, I think the drums, like, they really shape the vibe of a song. So I'm always like he'll be playing something, and I'm like, oh, you know, try like open hi-hat instead of the ride or something, and then like, no, maybe back to the ride, or like try, you know, do more. And really the full band, like that full collaboration, like I feel like we're totally equal. Or maybe, I don't know, we're all coming towards the same space when we're working out the covers, because we're never really playing songs the way that they were originally written. So
Yeah.
you know, making those arrangements where it's like,
Oh, you arrange the covers. You
yeah,
arrange.
absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
So we're very collaborative on those arrangements, because it's like, you know,
that's
like
awesome.
just on
That's
Tuesday we were doing this like mashup. I love mashups, so we did like, it's like Come
mashups
Together
are
and
awesome.
Superstition.
Yeah.
And you know, there's a section right after Come Together where I'm like, okay, like this is early, but I'm gonna go into that guitar solo, and then I'm gonna do these stops, and Dan hits them with me, and then Dan goes into a thing, and then it goes double time, and Dan plays a solo, and then we're doing, so it all just come like, it's like,
That's cool.
just a big
Is
brainstorm.
Superstition in D minor?
We do it in D minor.
Okay, y'all do it in D
because
minor.
we're doing it like drop D, and like we like slow it down, and then
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, because Come Together's in a minor key. Whatever key you
Yeah,
want.
we do it in
Yeah.
D minor too.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Come Together's so cool. I was like learning it solo, but I was like, nah, this is a band song.
I played it solo for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you?
You
Okay.
it just takes, you know, your own interpretation of it,
Yeah.
and just that confidence that you like, you know, you're like, I might be filling up more space with this guitar than I think I am.
Yeah.
But also, like, you know, trust yourself. If it's not your song, then play a different Beatles song. Do Rocky Raccoon like Josh Bennett.
Yeah, back on having a band and like paying them and stuff. There's because like people in Nashville, they won't work if it's not for pay. A lot of bands won't work if it's not for pay, and especially if their name's not on it or anything, like there's no association, or like it, you know, or the payout is you know, not being on a record or something like that. But like it's a cool medium that you found, because your vision is so strong on original songs that you're allowing the covers that y'all are learning to be open for interpretation of the whole band.
Absolutely.
More so.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of songs that, you know, Dan would like, that he would bring to the table, kind of thing, and then you'd let him.
We
just
did some
roll.
Outkast because of Dan.
Cool.
Lance throws Marcus King songs at us.
Yeah.
Craig wanted to play Funky Town. I think it was either Craig or Alex. I think it was Craig. Though,
Alex is the trumpet player.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Funky Town has become like our favorite cover to do and stuff. So it's like they're throwing songs at me, but sometimes they're like, you know, Craig wants to play like Careless Whisper, and I'm like, like,
I don't know that song.
I don't, you know, the sexy sax song, like,
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
So
Craig wants to do that.
he wants to be the sexy sax man, but I'm like, he's already like,
wants to be the
it's nuts
sexy
with
sax
the
man.
horns, man. Like they you know, we played Roadhouse, and they're literally like pulling Craig off the stage, like the women
girls.
that comes, yeah, they
can't,
like they
can't
love
handle
the
it, man.
horns, like, because they're those guys, they're really nice. Like I think you can just tell that they're sweet, and they're also just fucking yoked, like for no reason. Like people always come to shows and they're like, why are your horns just so jacked for no reason?
Yeah, they're jacked.
And they're just gym rat. Like there was.
I was telling Alex, like, dude, your deltoids. He's like, I was like, did you work out your deltoids today or something? And he goes, oh, it's just genetics. I was like, I love him for some reason. Like any man is willing to.
I love him
admit
for
that.
so many reasons. Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite Alex memories
Built.
was, Built Different, man.
What the hell?
Yeah, so he, it was the first time we ever played for Kappa. and I love them. They've been hiring us a lot.
Yeah.
And we did this. It was a hot dog party, so they made a bunch of hot dogs and a hot dog eating contest. It was like Alec played the national anthem.
Yeah.
It was Dan did the whole drum. It was awesome. It was so fun. But there was like a whole crowd. Like we finished the show. I won't say it was like a line formed for Alex, but there was a whole like. There's a
Single
lot of
file,
people.
ladies.
Like yeah, it was like a lot of people that like really like were like ready to meet Alex. Like he was like the center of attention. And this kid doesn't even look at them. Walks off stage, grabs like 2 hot dogs, comes back and he's like, "Man, I'm about to miss my workout." And he just dips and he just like didn't say hi to any of them.
Oh my god!
And so they're like, "Where did your trumpet player?" And I'm like, "Well, he went to Ramsey. Like he's working out.
Oh my god!
He doesn't give a fuck, man. He's awesome.
Dude,
like
that's hilarious.
Craig is the same. Yeah, they just like they're so professional. And they've kind of leaned into, it's always good to be saying hi to people. Like I realize that's a really, really big part of it. I used to play a gig in Arlington, finish my set, immediately start wrapping cables and packing up and it was like, how fast can I get home?
Yeah. It's better to not.
It's better to walk out and like it's not weird to if you really. I mean, it might be awkward if they're not actually responding to you, but if you're playing, you can always tell when people are receiving what you're doing.
Yeah,
you can go to those people and thank them
for sure,
and it's not weird.
Yeah,
and it's really helpful.
Yeah, it is, and those people, you have like the key thing is like building a connection. Like the more connections you can build, like literally just like staring each other in the eyes, deep connection, sort of like, this is me and I'm offering myself to you, and then they do the same with you, and it's sort of this like beautiful interaction.
Yeah,
because like you can make eye contact with somebody while playing on stage.
Yeah,
and you can lock eyes with that person for however long they're willing to keep their gaze on you.
It was beautiful, man. I played Tennessee Whiskey.
5, 10, 15 seconds.
Awesome.
Sometimes.
Yeah, I try to...
and what a great song to do it on.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. I love taking requests because you can... like basically, the bigger part of this is that I realized at a certain point, it might have been like junior year of high school or something, I was like, the gigs are not about proving how good I am.
No.
Because I'll show up and I'll sing the songs well if I'm, on my game. It's more about how I'm making the people in the room feel. It's like as an artist, you're not selling a talent show, you're selling a connection.
Yeah.
And it's all about making giving the people what they want. Like it's as simple as that. Like you find a need and you fill it. And so the easiest way to do that is take requests because you're playing exactly what people want to hear and stuff. But also in my show, like last night at Boars, I made sure that everyone that I could see got a moment where I was making eye contact with them. Yeah. And some people, I was like looking at Madeline most of the time and stuff but
inspiring Madeline.
Also, yeah, like everybody that was there, I made sure I was looking them in the eyes for at least a second because it's easy to like, I'm so ingrained in music that it's just like, it's not, I'm still like recognizing the beauty of it and stuff, but it's becoming like, it's pretty normal to me. Like I forget that my experiences as a musician are fairly abnormal for people doing, the straight and narrow. So given those people like involvement in your show is huge. It's like the whole point of it.
It's the whole point.
They don't care about how well you can hit the run in Tennessee Whiskey. They care that you like played their song. It's like their
played
Tennessee
their
Whiskey.
Song. It's their
and you're
song.
singing it to them. Like I played a solo gig on Friday. There was all sorts of stuff that like was weird about that gig, but there was a moment where this woman requested Tennessee Whiskey, and I looked at her the whole time, and it was like it was beautiful. She
loved it. It was just like she felt it so deeply.
I felt it more than her, maybe. Yeah, man, I was like almost in tears singing it to her, just because it was so like she was just smiling,
tears, feeling that, like feeling that on stage.
Yeah.
Is her feeling that as well? To some degree.
Yeah, I mean, I have to like. You can't do anything if you don't mean it.
Yeah.
Like at some points, you find yourself in those solo gigs, like looking at the TVs and like Hawks game is on. You're kind of
my goodness
swimming around a little bit, but it takes that reception to make those gigs really impactful for you, and the way to earn that reception is by giving people what they want.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And like, it's even cooler now that deep connection with people is pretty scarce. So making that connection with somebody it's gonna hit every time. Meaning,
Do you feel like it's scarce?
I feel like it is. I mean, I don't think so with people like you and I, but I do think that there are a lot of people that are scared to go out of their way to try and, meet somebody that, you could have deep friendship with, like you and I, man.
Yeah.
I mean, like, my goodness.
You're one of my
like,
best friends in Athens, man.
Me
You're
too.
awesome.
Yeah. And like, I would have never met you if I didn't like go to an open mic and like meet
And
you that
introduced
night.
yourself to me, and
And
you were out. You were available. Like, you were at all the
Yeah,
shows
you
that
were
I was going
available.
to, and then
You were-
I saw you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And you were available that night, and so, and then that's led to so many awesome
So
things,
many things,
man.
yeah.
I mean, it's like
some nights, man.
some nights, some awesome nights, and some crazy nights, and some fun nights, and some chill nights, and all the above.
absolutely.
It's just a universe
Yeah.
of nights,
Cool, man.
Some nights like you're a little tired. Some nights I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
Mostly it's me. Mostly
I
I'm
get
like,
you.
bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, come on, let's just
I got a
but we're
motor on
always
me. Yeah,
laughing. We're
yeah.
always smiling. We're always laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I do think deep connections are scarce, and I think the more that you can like ask questions and find out who people are based off of conversation, and I mean, it's just like my heart right now is just like, it's like it's the absolute truth that people are becoming more inside and they're doing their own thing, and like it makes me sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have a very individualistic culture, and people are afraid to express their emotions towards one another, and there's all sorts of mental blocks that.
Yeah, and like another thing, like sort of like back to the playing on stage. I want to get back to sort of that, but like the playing on stage thing and expressing a feeling. Everyone else around the stage or watching you, your audience, is going to want to feel that feeling.
Yeah.
Or I mean, unless you're like mad or like resentful or some type of negative energy on stage, nobody wants that.
Yeah. But even when you're mad, like I've had some gigs, like
mad,
you can
mad.
just kind of dig in your guitar a little bit, and then they're like, "Oh, this dude is feeling it." So
and then there's like some piece of you that releases that like anger because the song is happening.
It's
that way.
awesome. Yeah, I've had so many like frustrating. Like I show up and I'm like, God damn it! I left my 1/4 inch at the 40 watt, and then I lost a power strip, and I showed up late, and like I have this homework assignment, and it's just like all this stuff. But then you start playing, and people smile at you, and you're like,
Yeah,
you guys are like watching me. Like
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah,
like so it just goes away. Like
yeah.
Yeah, it's I guess music is, everybody needs outlets. Like music in its purest form is just like a way to get your shit out,
Express emotion.
and so
Exactly. It's like that's why it's such a therapy, is that it's just this space to express yourself, and then when you express yourself, that gives others the right to express themselves in that way. And it's like, that's why some of the music that you listen to that is like not really feeling that right now is because you don't really have that emotion inside. Maybe I don't know if that's true, but I'm just saying that would be, that's a theory that seems to be that, if I'm testing that simulation right now inside of my mind of like songs I don't like, it's mostly that. I mean, it's like I'm not going to see metal bands at night because like I'm getting all that out during the day, like in the
you're
gym
working
or
out and
whatever.
doing it,
Like anger, it's like there's two different things. Like there's anxiety, like go for a run. Anger, go lift weights, and then those two things seem to work. So like I never have any anger or anxiety inside when I'm out at night. I'm kind of like
cool.
wanting to chill.
You're very chill, man.
Yeah.
Like you definitely know how to hang.
Yeah.
But it just goes back to like, people say that writing a song can change someone's life, and it's that might be pie in the sky to some people, but as musicians, like, you're given this gift where you're helping people process things within their life that you could never understand through the lens of your music. And people are understanding their own existence better because of what you're putting in the world. So it is like, it is that deep. Even if they're not connecting with like the pure meaning of your song that you had in your head. Like Dylan Keel at Classic City Vintage Guitars told me, he's like, you should never ever explain your lyrics. And I used to always try to explain them and show the intricacies of them, and that made me sound so pretentious. I'm not saying my lyrics are super intricate, but
it doesn't. I mean,
it's
sense.
Like you open the doors to that broader connection when you let people receive it in their own way rather than telling them how to receive it.
Yeah. The abstract is so much more beautiful than than a defined reason.
Yeah.
Like when you hear an artist talk about his lyrics and why and stuff, you like it because you like the conversation.
Yeah.
It's not some, but like some, I don't know, man. I mean, there's just a universe. There's a universe of reasons like why it could be good to explain your lyrics, and then there's a universe of reasons why it would not be good to explain your lyrics.
It's absolutely a balance, but
it's never something that you're hiding though.
No,
you're expressing that full emotion inside the song anyway.
Exactly.
That's full expression. If you really want to understand what I'm talking about, read the lyrics while I'm singing the song at the same time.
Yeah, that's
full expression.
Yeah, absolutely. Or
maybe that's what your friend Dylan means.
Yeah, he's just like he's saying like, people should learn your lyrics and stuff and make memorable art, but you shouldn't have to explain what they mean. Like I mean, Bob Dylan never explained his shit. He was like, "Yep, it's out, it's yours, enjoy."
Yeah. And Bob Dylan writes the most like spectrum diverse songs, sort of like all over the board with lyrics, and
like he's hitting all these pop culture references and
all the stuff. He's hitting all of it, man, and I can't stop listening to him either. Even his 60s.
I know, because every time I get in your car, it plays Hurricane.
Yeah. I can't stop listening to him, and that's one of like my main inspirations as a songwriter is Bob Dylan, and I mean it's all these things that are cliches to say, of course they have truth to them. Everyone always says that, but the degree in which that, explaining song lyrics, and it's really just comes down to the bottom line of full expression is playing the song.
Yeah, and it's I mean, so Bob, like who knows what was going on in his head when he wrote Freewheelin' Bob Dylan. But I like that album is a really important album for me because I had this recording session in Brooklyn in high school, and we woke up in the middle of the night, took a bus, like it was my best friends went with me, and I couldn't fall asleep, so I was watching the sunrise driving through New Jersey with listening to Freewheelin' Bob Dylan for the first time. Because it just something popped into I don't remember why I did it, but I was just like, yeah, I got to listen to this. Yeah. And, Bob would never he wrote that in, what is it, in the 60s? I think 60, I don't know, 68 maybe, 66, something like that. But for me, like that experience, it was the perfect encapsulation of like, it was exactly what I needed to process that moment for everything that it was. And maybe something else could have done it too, but for me in that moment, it was absolutely perfect. It's like people are just super emotional beings, and emotion is absolutely necessary to feel in life. Yeah. It can also hurt you in ways where you're not quite aware, but like the human species is always evolving to adapt to its surroundings, to understand that, I've got to use Instagram in the right way. It's sucking my dopamine out. Scientific. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, my roommate and I talk a lot about that and like dopamine, and because we have friends. We're evolving to be more connected with people
but also understanding the science behind what that being more connected actually means in this setting of Instagram or Snapchat or whatever it is. So,
Yeah.
There's trade-offs, but I mean,
Yeah, it's wild out there, man. And it's just like people will say whatever they want online too when you're not in someone like I'm realizing like the better we succeed with the music, the more I'm like, man, I'm a sensitive dude. Like I'm definitely like I have to be conscious to not let that negativity that I receive make me feel jaded or scared or whatever. But it's definitely like I'm like, ooh, like that thing that someone said is still bothering me today, and it was like 2 days ago. Like, why am I still thinking about that? Like, it doesn't even matter. But it's just like,
sure,
I have to like give myself the space just because I'm so sensitive, like to process it. Even if it feels like it's stupid to have to process something, it's like, it'll make me feel better, and it's good to feel stuff. Like it gives you the full range of emotion. Like you get the full roller coaster with the high ups and the low lows, but.
It's really good to feel it with the awareness of understanding that you're feeling it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like I can think that it's stupid that I'm getting upset that some person at this bar gig like said I'm shit or something.
Right. But
at
also,
the end of the day, it's like I made 100 other people in that room.
Yeah.
Feel okay. So it's
for sure. And there's sort of this level of, it took me a long time to learn this, is that you can feel these emotions and then you're sort of like, you have this sort of innate nature to try and judge the emotion. Like, yeah, but kind of thing. But like the judgment is like, I mean, it's in the Bible, don't judge. I don't know the quotes or anything.
I get you.
You might.
That's a really interesting way of looking at that, because it's.
But the thing is also is that when right after you have the emotion and you're all frontal lobe about it, super aware about it, and then you judge that emotion, that's also an emotion too. It's an emotion to react to the emotion that you had. So just being conscious of the feeling moving through you, not judging is like, it took me forever to figure out that I was actually judging my thoughts that I was seeing inside my head. It took me forever to understand that I was judging.
That's hard, because it's like, how do you distinguish between what's a feeling that you're creating and what's a feeling that's like, more being, I guess, whatever they do with, they're like imposed on you or whatever. But that's interesting though, because I've always heard that quote within the context of like not judging other people, but it is just as important to not judge ourselves. Absolutely. Or at least to look at ourselves more objectively. Like it's good to be able to strip away that emotion at some points, and because you gotta judge yourself in a way to get better. Like you can't be a narcissist.
Absolutely.
But just being kind to yourself. Like, if my girlfriend were crying or feeling upset about something, I wouldn't be like, oh, that's not a huge deal. Like, why are you so upset? Like, I would just like comfort her. And so in the same way, I ought to comfort myself, even if something that I feel like shouldn't bother me does.
Yeah. There's different times to implement different tools, and so like the judgment thing of like you record yourself on stage kind of deal, and you go and listen to it back through.
Yeah,
that's the time for judgment.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can be like, man, I am shit. That guy was right.
Exactly. Yeah. That guy was right. Yeah. And then but another time to not is like feeling anger towards that guy for saying that or whatever it is. It's
that dude's a nobody.
And then even that thought is like judgment on that guy kind of thing. You're just trying to continually sort of let this space of, understand that like that emotion is not going to help you. It's only going to continue that sort of same type thought in the future.
Yeah, maybe me saying he was a nobody was a reaction to being angry. Like maybe he is a somebody. Yeah, I love him. I'm angry that he said that, but
he's definitely a somebody. Like he's got especially people that, himself.
He's just drunk.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's just drunk. Yeah. He just likes whiskey. Yeah.
What a bastard.
what a son of a bitch. Yeah. A whiskey loving son of a bitch.
Damn.
No, but I mean, really though, it's like there's all of these times to, to judge and to not judge, and the more mindful you can just be throughout life in general, just it seems like it's the best route of action to increase your odds of being happier and healthier and, you know, more successful in any way that you want to be.
Absolutely. Because in so many ways,
man,
your brain shapes your existence.
Yeah, it does.
Literally, like, you know, we think like the what we perceive, we think that it's like directly, you know, from our eyes to our brain, but we actually have neurons that run backwards the other way too. And so our brain imposes part of our sight onto our sight, and they like work together, which is why like, you know, when you're walking in a big crowd and you keep thinking you see people you know, and then you look at them again and they're not people you know.
Yeah.
It's because the facial, like the facial sensing part of your brain is like always active, because your brain's always looking for faces. Why you see faces in cars and stuff too. But you literally see, like if I see a Drew lookalike, I literally see you for a second because my brain imposes you upon them.
Yeah.
And then it's like a glitch. And then after like it realizes it's not you, I see what's actually there.
That's like the Terminator, where like the Terminator's like, and he's like, see somebody, he's like, enemy.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just
or
like,
ally,
and
don't kill.
Not Drew.
Yeah. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's crazy. So if your brain is affecting your reality to that extent, like you have to be intentional about taking care of it and shaping it. And I know I'm saying that I'm not taking great care of my brain all the time. I kill a lot of brain cells.
None of us are. It's easy to not.
Yeah, because it feels good, man. But in the long term,
it feels good, man.
It feels good to like feel like you're being intentional about improving your perception of reality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which the brain killing things can do in a certain way, but it's like time and place.
Yeah, time and place. Like for example, let's say you wanted to drink alcohol one night. It's like, all right, you want to do this. Okay. So
it's like the devil and the angel.
So it's like, all right, first of all, how much are we drinking? That matters the most.
Always changes.
Yeah, it's like how much. And then second, what are we drinking? And then, well, the first thing and then if you get both of those things down, you need to understand like what you're doing tomorrow is going to have an effect, because your current day is affecting the next day. So
yeah, I'm at Boars just thinking about having fun at Boars, and then I wake up at noon today.
Yeah, and then you come over here.
Oh.
Sweet, but then you're like, but it's kind of fun and funny though at the same time, which is also weird because you know, like alcohol is a drug and it's poison kind of thing.
It's
so
like I'm literally like
things.
Making myself sick. Like,
yeah.
But then you go to Boars and I like, I'm
but
like,
then you go to Boars,
you want to hug everybody. And, man, I had like the spins last night, man. It was.
Oh no! Wow, it was one of those.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a good night though.
Yeah.
Really good night.
Yeah. Damn. I constantly have these things of alcohol and just constantly, okay, I'm feeling this way because of the alcohol consumption a few days ago kind of thing. And it's mostly the things that take energy out of me is alcohol and mostly social settings. Social settings kind of like drain me.
Which are pretty deeply intertwined. So so they're extra, like they're both of them together kind of have this sort of circulating effect, you know, this cyclical effect of, you know, I have to stay away from people for like a few days. I get you.
Like we had to cancel this yesterday or 2 days ago.
We're gonna move in a little bit. You bastard.
Yeah,
no, because you got to recharge your battery.
Because the battery needs to be recharged, and you know, it's like I want to always be hooked up to the express charger, but it's like it doesn't work too much like that.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't think I would ever. I hope I won't. I'll be intentional about not ever developing a drinking problem because it just makes you miserable.
Are you an addictive person though?
Yeah, absolutely.
You are? Okay.
With other things, I could totally Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you don't seem, for me, like you don't. Maybe, maybe you do, but like you're good about being intentional with things. So
Yeah, I try to be. Some days I'm really not, but yeah, it's hard because I like everything I do. It's like I'm deeply, deeply, deeply addicted to music, like, which is such a cheesy thing to say, but it's like it's like my behavior around it is like I have to have it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about it. I have to do it to the extreme. I can't just be a open mic guy. I have to go start the band and play the gigs and do it. It's like you're always chasing that like bigger high, and like that's how I act with music. But
yeah,
yeah, man, like
totally a thing
smoke
too.
way too much weed. Like, yeah,
but it's also a thing too, like with the chasing the higher high with the music stuff, and there's like two different forms of thought. It's like you can reward yourself based on getting that next goal, or you can just stay stoic about it and try and be unemotional about achieving that goal. And then just keep going and really loving the day-to-day process.
It's a balance because I was just talking about this with Garrett Shermont, where he's we were talking about like you got to celebrate those small victories because you're never gonna get anywhere. You're just gonna get so burnt out and feel like you're a failure. But it's like, even just playing a cover gig on Tuesday at Silver, is like, there are. I mean, how many people fit in there? There are probably 100 people.
A lot of people.
Like a lot of people in Silver, and I'm playing guitar in the back corner, just hanging. Like mostly just because the addiction. Like I'm just like I love to play. Like I gotta play, but
gotta express.
I met like even if I talked to 3 people, like the Granville guys were in there, so I got to talk to them. Rooster guy was in there. Red Mile Road was there. Bunch of fraternity people, sorority people. So it's just like you gotta treat everything like it's your big moment.
Yeah. You treat everything like it's your big moment.
Yeah, like Silver was like the show that night, and last night it was Boars. It was an open mic, and it's the gig. And tonight when we play in Clemson, like I'm gonna be hitting Clemson hard, man, because it's like I've been so itching to get out of Georgia. I'm so pumped. Like Jameson dropped that gig in my lap, man. So
yeah. Heck yeah, Jameson.
Yeah, we're gonna bring the heat, man. I'm like, I feel like I'm in my like boxer, like, cause we kind of do that backstage now. Like we're in this, like it's always there's a line to how, when your confidence borders into, cockiness. But I think in a healthy way, like there's nothing wrong with being in a green room before a show and like being like, yeah, like we're about to fuck. Like we're gonna
that's how you have to feel.
And we amp ourselves. And I would never do that solo. I was just like, I gotta go in and connect with people doing the things we're talking about. And now we're walking out to these like 40 watt shows. Like we're gonna fuck this up. Like we're gonna like And it's we're like these. It's fun. It's just really, and I think that energy is like really good nature because it comes from a place of wanting to connect with the audience. It's not like we're so good, like we're gonna elevate ourselves and stuff. It's just like we're gonna do like we're gonna kill it. Like, we gotta do the best job we can, and we came here to do it, and we're focused, and we know we're gonna do it. And then,
Sean O'Malley, this UFC fighter, says too sharp, too fast, too focused kind of thing, and it's like it is that, and like when you say that to yourself over and over again, you're creating these neural pathways inside your head that like that's what's going to happen before gigs. Yeah,
it's like visualizing playing something before you do it, and then
I've seen bands where it's uncomfortable to look at people on stage when they're looking back at you, but like there's a lot of times where like you guys do a great job of making it super comfortable.
Thanks, man. And I appreciate it.
You want to
we're having so much fun.
Yeah,
like, it's
exactly.
It's awesome. It's like
Exactly. And so like that like let's fuck.
Yeah.
Is
like it's just
it
like
feels
it's like
great that communication between you guys on stage and like people in the audience.
And there's no, like we're not gonna like fuck it up if no one shows up. So
Yeah.
it's like a collect. It's like we're all gonna have this experience together. It's more like it's more just like this is about to be awesome. Like rather than like, oh, we gotta make sure we do a good job and we gotta run through this and that. Like it's just like this is gonna be a great night.
Yes. Instead of like sometimes like I'll see bands, sometimes it like feels weird and like kind of like rapey sort of. Sometimes like I don't know.
Okay,
that's my vibe from it, dude,
I hope we're
I
never
don't like it.
contributing those vibes.
No, you're not. You're not.
Huh.
It's weird. It's like you know, I don't know. I don't really want to explain it. I mean, it's explained well enough.
Just creepy.
It's creepy.
Creepy dudes.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Which I wonder if that creepiness is like genuine creepiness or if it's coming from like just them feeling uncomfortable on stage.
I think it's coming from like we're not sure where this. It's like we're not sure where this is coming from, but like here you go. I'm like whoa. Like think about this first for a sec.
It's strange, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it is weird.
Some weird bands.
Yeah. There.
Yeah.
And dude, I was just talking to Jameson this morning about Athens and stuff, and he was saying like I'm here for the long haul, and
that's awesome.
And I know you're kind of thinking that too.
Yeah, this will be home base, man. Like my big goal is like bringing back that national acclaim, not necessarily being like the next REM, but
yeah,
ushering in like a new wave of Athens prosperity. Because basically my whole thing is that I didn't know anything about the music industry here until my brother like randomly suggested that I apply to school here because he's like, oh, you might not get into the other places. He was right.
Wow.
And so I'm like, all I want to do is just give back to this community and really like make sure that kids like me in suburban Virginia doing the right things could see Athens as a really viable place to launch a career. And contribute, and through that bring their talent and their love and their connection to the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like rock the fuck out. Like I just want to hear, like I love it when you're walking through Athens and you can hear a band like all the time. Like you walk by Roadhouse, you hear a band, and then you turn the corner, hear a band on that street. And it's like I just want to keep that going for the rest of them.
Yeah.
Having a guitar pick on the street would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool thing.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool. I mean, and it is it was such a huge music town, and like I think it is kicking back up like post-COVID.
Yeah, I was never here during COVID and stuff, and I missed out on Caledonia.
Yeah,
Caledonia's some great band like Jester.
But Church is building that place back up. I think it's not going to be Caledonia anymore, but they said they're going to throw shows there.
I feel a little icky about it just because they killed a music venue and now they're profiting off a new music venue. But so they're bringing, I don't know. I just know, I know a lot of the people within.
It might have been Caledonia went broke too.
It's true because they probably went broke.
They weren't making much money anyway.
Yeah, and they're playing local bands and stuff. So I don't fully know. Like,
yeah,
I'm not passing a lot of judgment on. I've heard other things about
if they can keep if they can keep that spot creating music, that's going to be good for the town as a whole.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, as of now, like, but
it's turning back into music town. I know a lot
of people within the music scene here hate them, and so I feel
Church.
Yeah, and Church is a beautiful, like, their mission to provide a safe space. Like, we can argue about how actually safe it is for people there because there are a lot of stories, but
sorry,
it's a safe, it is a space where LGBTQ stuff is not only accepted but like celebrated and affirmed, and it's beautiful for people within that community because they need that. But yeah, I don't know, it's like a double-edged sword. I don't know if I would book a gig there.
Yeah, I don't know enough about it.
Yeah,
but
I would talk to them.
But owner. Athens is becoming a music scene again. That's the main point. Yeah, Athens is becoming a music scene again. There's a lot of good music here right now.
Yeah, a lot of good local music too, and then a couple bands that are touring out of here. And I want to like just break the ceiling. And like, cause there are guys like Jameson has opened doors for me.
Yeah.
And the people before Jameson opened doors for him. And it was so like, I want to like blow the roof off the place and have that path set so that other people, if they're worthy of it, and if they're wanting to put in that work, they can follow it and replicate. Because like a lot of what I'm doing with the booking, the tour and stuff is like literally replicating Jameson's runs. Like looking at what he's played, when he's played it, like that made sense. And then hitting up those exact venues. Like he got me this gig we're playing tonight. Yeah. So if we could tour nationally.
Wait, where are you playing tonight again?
We're playing at Loose Change in Clemson. Yeah.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're gonna go there after this.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. It's a late. We're playing like 11 to 2. So that poor paper. I'm always pushing it, man. Like always pushing it. Yeah. But yeah, I gotta play. Like I told myself at the beginning of this year, my dad wouldn't like to hear this, but I was like, if there's a gig or a homework assignment, it's the gig every time. Mm-hmm. And so I gotta hold true.
I mean, you're making the right decision with leaving school.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, according to what you just said, it seems like that's the right decision.
Yeah, and we're starting to play 5 nights a week.
I've been a proponent anyway. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah,
I've always supported that.
Barbie told me, he's like, we've been here since 1785. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. But yeah, let me know if I make some stupid ones. You don't have to support everything I do.
I will.
But he was like, we've been here since 1785, so you can always come back. Like, we'll be around for you.
Barbie?
Yeah, David Barbie. He's the music business program.
He is
mastermind. He started. I think he started it. But he's definitely the guy.
He's the music business mastermind. Mm-hmm. He played Southern Brewing, didn't he?
Yeah.
Did you see him
I
play?
missed his set. I was so bummed because we showed up like right at the same time.
Yeah, I was very disappointed in myself.
I got there right as Lighthearted was like halfway through their set, and they were really good. I really like them. They're so sweet too. Like everybody in that band is
gentle.
So nice. Yeah.
Their music is so gentle too.
Also, like,
love it. Midday Sun's
like, there's
fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Very like that like folky thing meets like a little Arcade Fire, like a little they got a really good vibe. But yeah, their guitarist's name is Win, like with an N. And we had this moment like the group me, like the big Athens, like we had like a little like, oh, we're like name neighbors or whatever. So like I got to meet Win and I was like, dude, like this is awesome. So it was really cool to meet them.
Okay.
That festival was huge. Like shout out Jackson for doing that. Cause
Jackson, heck yeah, man.
Like a lot of the gaps that a lot of the people that I knew of that I had never met within the Athens music scene, I got to meet that day. So that was a huge, like, just from like a networking standpoint. And I didn't want to feel icky about it. Like I wasn't trying to like make the rounds and but like,
I mean,
it was mostly just like hanging out, like talking to friends and stuff. But yeah, a lot of the gaps that I needed to fill got filled that day. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That sounded super gay.
Yeah, sometimes we're all gay a little bit, right? Yeah, man, that was a fun event. It was nice and sunny all day, and it's
beautiful.
I was pretty toasted, so I wasn't doing too much networking. Toasted, like just like tired.
Oh, okay. I was a little toasted too. It's all good. Yeah, but never mind.
Yeah, man. I have a couple of things that I was gonna ask you. I think we ran through them kind of, but have you talked about any of your music stuff, like your upcoming music stuff, like releases or anything like that? Or?
No, I'm super excited, man. Like it's we're moving in here on Sunday, and then I think the plan is gonna be single music video, lyric video, okay, and then other content that we can do.
Content.
Yeah, man. Every 2 months or so, I think a single. And I would love to make another album. I love that process and like letting the songs shape one another and stuff. But at this point, just the way that things are going, it makes the most sense to do it the right way. Yeah, we can always do an album later.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for that.
I'll be around. Yeah.
So you're so you have what, like, where can people find you? Like where's where are your shows?
Yeah, wimtapley.com.
WimTapley.com.
All my shows are on Spotify too. Like if you just like scroll down, you can see them.
Okay.
Yeah, we try to blast it, so like kind of wherever if you just Google us, like,
Sweet, man.
we'll figure it out.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
man.
Sweet. Good to have you, bro.
Dude, thank you so much.
Love you so much, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss the hell out of you, man. I know
I'll
it's
be
gonna be a
back.
couple months, but
I'll be back.
Yeah, it'll be like I know Madeline will too, and
Yeah,
like everybody that's met you.
Yeah.
You're a huge fixture of the scene. Like you're very supportive.
I want everyone to do well.
Yeah.
I want every single person
And it's felt,
in the
man.
scene to do well, man. And because it means that the scene does, the whole music, everyone that does well here attracts more talent. And when you attract more talent, the scene gets better and better and
Exactly.
better and better.
That's the same mission I'm trying to do. Just
I also want to be surrounded myself with amazing people like yourself.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
I mean, huge inspiration.
It's been beautiful. Yeah, it's been a great time. Like,
And you're a huge part of the scene as well.
thanks, man.
Like, I mean, you're the guy.
I'm the guy. That's like Spy Kids when he's like, I'm the guy. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Well,
That guy wasn't actually the guy though, right? Maybe that's how I
don't
am.
know. I don't know.
Oh no.
Spy Kids?
You're not that guy,
been a
pal.
minute.
You're not that guy.
Yeah, it's been a minute, bro.
I love Spy
Yeah.
Kids.
Cool deal.
Yeah. Sweet, man.
All right.
I love you, bro.
Love you too.
Yeah.